I'm very excited about this. I really am. Almost as excited as I am about the Bulldog. Thank you to my donor and sponsor and producer Tara for sending me this stir-fried ramen, artificial spicy chicken flavor. I've been recently introduced to these. It has a wet sauce package and also a dry. And I today, probably for lunch, am going to do one of these with some diced chicken. And it's going to be a chef's kiss. I'm going to come back with you all on my burner phone. I just wanted to thank Tara out loud for these amazing canisters of Korean Bulldog. Ever since I had it and she introduced me to it, and Chili Crisp, I've been obsessed, absolutely obsessed. What a wonderful morning for singing and connecting. I'll be right back after these messages. Have a wonderful day if you're not coming back. If you are, I will see you very, very shortly. Amazing. Welcome back, everybody, to Deconstruction Junction and Love in Action Network. I am Father Wata, also known as Dr. Flo. I hope that you're having a wonderful Friday. Joy is still the revolution. And we are here just to pick apart our thoughts. We don't have a lot of spaces often in life, many of us, to talk about the big things and the small things of life. And so we've switched our slot to a midday Friday slot to allow for us to have our evenings because we're getting into some teaching and fall schedules and all sorts of things. So we're happy to be here. I think Tara wanted to introduce herself after I do so. I'm Dr. Flo. I'm a performance coach and mentor and teaching artist based on the East Coast of the United States. I helped bold dreamers follow their bliss every day. And I'm joined today by
Kelapwalo or Prolo, like TikTok always tries to caption me, chow. I'm Tara Prolo. I'm your resident white-facing biracial, multi-passionate musician, and I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about, or that they want to talk about and pretend to talk about, but don't actually talk about, and push people to do the same, chow. Yeah, join us around the water cooler here. Ask your questiones if you're in the audience. Share us. Let's have conversations. I brought a little bit. We listen, y'all. It's been a week with the holiday. I think we're gonna read a little bit of the Melody Beatty. I think I've got a Black Liturgies that's got some Cornell West quotes. Got some conversation about belonging. What else do we have conversations about? I think Dr. Flo probably has some things. Um, but yeah, let's do it. Join us around the water cooler. Invite your friends. Come along. And if you want to host with us, just DM either one of us or apply at lovedandlovable.bio.link. Lovedandlovable.bio.link.
Yeah, we've really been wanting to have community conversations. Some of our conversations burden us, some of our conversations unburden us, but all of them lead us towards being better versions of ourselves. So if you're into joining us on stage and you want to put your hat in the ring around community conversations, we've been having a blast falling out of competition and into care and concern here, and this is part of that outreach. What'd you find?
Okay, so my Black Liturgies that was just posted 2 hours ago, but I saw it and I was like, oh my God, we have to read this. I also just saw We the Urban as I was sharing this out, which I forgot to share it to my broadcast channel. I'll get there. Anyway, We the Urban had a Dear Best Friend post, which might be interesting to get into. But this Black Liturgies, y'all know how I feel about Black Liturgies. And Black Liturgies has been taking a break for like 3 months. And your girl, I just I need my soul My soul needs it. Anyway, okay.
Is that
So,
to deconstruct? Is that a social media account ran by a singular individual or a group of people? I don't know
yes,
anything about the
Cole
back.
Arthur Riley, who also has two books. One is the title of the account, Black Liturgies, and then she's got one that she wrote before that, and she is just phenomenal. I did a spotlight on her back in Black History Month. So if you scroll back far enough in my Spill the Beans, there's a spotlight on Cole Arthur Riley, and you can find that on my YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist. I don't know how to do playlists on Instagram, child, so y'all just got to go find it on the YouTubes. Speaking of, if y'all want our past Deconstruction Junctions, the last couple I haven't saved, but most of them are on a playlist on my YouTube's, which is an unlisted playlist and also includes my week of masterclasses from the beginning of 2024. So y'all can jump into that. It's free 99. Just request, just request. And also, I forgot to say that if you hear the that's my child. My child's taking a poop, which we love. It at the top of your head. And our new favorite thing is the top of our head. We found the top of our head this week. Okay, so the caption says, cynicism won't save us. Cynicism is a form of obedience. It's by Cornelius Eady. I hope I said that last name correctly. So sorry. Next slide. Be careful what doors you allow cynicism to lock in you. All dreaming is dangerous to those who benefit from our hopelessness. It's by Cole Arthur Riley. I'm going to read that one more time. Be careful what doors you allow cynicism to lock in you. All dreaming is dangerous to those who benefit from our hopelessness. The next one is Cornel West. I am in no way an optimist, but I remain a prisoner of hope. Let us breathe together. Inhale. Cynicism won't save me. Exhale. I protect my dreaming. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Cynicism won't save me. Exhale. I protect my dreaming. Next, breathing.
I say this in our network all the time. We don't know enough about ourselves to be a cynic. You don't know enough about you, of all of the stuff to be known about you. And I would say that you know yourself well, and I know myself well, but none of us know enough about ourselves fully to be a cynic about our possibility. No one knows for sure whether our future is going to be shitty, and no one knows for sure if our future is going to be bright, joyful, and secure. So why call it today? Why be so glass half empty, Tara?
Right. Flow. Hang on. Here's the last slide, y'all, because and this one's going to hit. Y'all buckle up. It's a breathing slide. Breathe in. Liberation is coming. Breathe out. I keep watch. One more time. Breathe in. Liberation is coming. Exhale. I keep watch.
You got to look for it. You got to be looking for it. We've been talking about this since November of last year. Look for the good. If you ain't looking for the good, then what are you actually looking for? If you're not highlighting the good, we recognize that everything's going to happen, good, bad, and in between. But what are you looking for? What was the exhale part again?
I keep watch.
I keep watch.
I keep watch. I'm a member of the Night's Watch. Protect the world.
The Night's Watch, the Wall, the Night Walkers.
Yeah, the Night Watch.
Yeah. We are the ones, and we are recognizing that we're not alone either. We're finding people like Aura and Music Heals and Cindy and others in the world, Angie and Poppy and Nadia
Cousin
and everybody
Emily.
else. Cousin Emily.
Clara.
Clara.
Lisa,
Sahar. People
yes.
who do not want to have a bad time at life. They actually want to be happy, healthy, and free. And that's some of the things that we discuss and offer here in our network.
How are you keeping watch? By looking for the good?
Yeah,
Your
I
answer?
yeah, I guess if you look at anything, you can look at anything and see it as a good thing or bad thing. You know, the sun, grows the trees and the plants, but also can burn your skin. The rain gives moisture to the soil for the food that we eat, but it also can create puddles for you to fall in. In New York City, there's these giant, like 4 foot puddles that when it rains, you can just lose your whole life in a puddle on the corner. Are you focused on the rain making the flowers grow or a puddle for you to fall into? I am going to start with some heavy questions today. I looked up online the top 30 thought provoking questions that you all may be having. I'm going to rifle through some ones. Tara, we talk about this all the time here. Number 7. Uh,
Speaking of Sahar, hey girl, she's in the comment section. Hey girl, we love you. So sorry.
I did not even.
Oh my gosh, Sahar's here. Hello, welcome.
I was just calling people from your network that came top of mind. So yeah, I wasn't even that wasn't intentional. Hello, you are keeping watch. You're keeping watch so well that Tara's bringing you up in conversation about your awesome stuff, and I know about you, and we've never even met.
Quite right.
Yeah, so we could tell that you're keeping watch. Thank you for keeping watch with us. Sahar, I'll throw it to you in the audience, also to Tara. Do y'all think that humans are naturally good or evil?
I think that's a white supremacist binary thought. Whoa, she's coming in hot. Love you too. Listen, we've been talking since last week. I think it was last week on Deconstruction Junction when I was on Dr. Flo's bootay hole, okay? Like about the slider, the freaking slider. We have these ideas of extremism, essentially, that it is always only good or it is always only bad, and that people are born certain ways. Nah, girl. Nah, girl. Love you too, Sahar. Love you too. Like, no, I don't believe that people are inherently born either way. I believe that we're influenced by the world and we respond to the world, you know?
Yeah, I'm with Sahar too. I'm part-time Buddhist. I'm interfaith. I believe in love and I believe in all people and I believe in humanity and I believe in goodness. And the Buddha, pointing to Sahar, talks about basically good. We're all basically good people. And I'm with you, Tara. Like life happens to us. And then we kind of react, I do feel. Makes me think of Wicked, if there are any Wicked fans in the room. Was she
Oh,
wicked
good. Okay.
or was wicked thrust upon her? Was she born wicked, Elphaba,
Dust.
or or did it happen at Shiz trying to fit in
Yeah.
with all of the cool kids?
And then she says, let all Oz be agreed. I'm wicked through and through.
Yes.
Is that
Okay.
all good deeds are?
Next question. And I'll let the ladies talk about this. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe it's a good thing. How do you define gender? Is that something that you think that we need to define, or like these are things that people are always talking about. They're talking about number 7, if we're good or evil. They're also talking about if there's even a need to define. Oh, Sahar says good until influence. Sahar, do you believe, as we believe, or as I believe, that everybody is an influencer to somebody? I personally believe that, like, we come up in this social media, we've walked through, because I didn't come up in it, I'm from the 80s. But we're walking through this social media age where there are people who are marketers and influencers and brand ambassadors. I believe personally that we're all ambassadors to somebody and for somebody. What do you think about your ability to influence others? Or that maybe people are good until influenced by us.
Or maybe until they're influenced by them bothering themselves. To bring in another topic that we've been talking about all week.
We
You know what I'm
have
saying?
we have been
I
talking
think,
about that.
from this conversation, like what's coming up for me is the U+1 idea. The shit that I always drop, right? Is like we are always influencing ourselves and so we're always influencing someone. We all influence someone, it's ourselves, right? And then plus one is the other person that maybe comes into the circle. And where two or three are gathered.
Oh, oh, come on, Pastor
Come
Praolo.
on, Pastor Prilo. She checked. I told you yesterday she wasn't checking in until noon. Well, it's 1:02.
Where two or three are gathered, love is in the
Where
midst.
two or three are gathered, child.
Love is in the midst.
And sorry, I'm moving now,
We
y'all.
no, you're fine. You're free here. Happy, healthy, free. We've been talking all week, Sahar, about and audience and those who will watch later. We've been talking all week about um bothering ourselves. Why we bother ourselves. It came to us through a teaching from Michael Singer. If you've ever read the book The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, uh, his podcast is phenomenal, and he's been encouraging us all week here in the network to stop bothering ourselves. Most of us are in our heads all day, 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts, and we're either speaking to ourselves. Drop in the chat, do you talk to yourself in the first person or the third person? Are you oh my goodness, I need to take out the trash, I need to, or are you you need to take out the trash, you need to do the mail, you need to do your emails? Tara, did we ever determine whether you were a third person self-talker or first person self-talker?
I think I think, although sometimes I guess I call myself Tara. Tara, go do this.
You'll say to yourself, Tara, go do this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's third person.
Sahar has a long answer for us. Oh, look at that appearing on the screen like that. That's so nice. Yes.
You want to take the comment so that people in the podcast
Yes.
can hear it?
It says, I try to treat people well, even those who have caused harm, because they are human too. It's not always easy, but a friend said something like this in a different way. Everyone deserves to eat. Yeah, that's my Gene Lee quote, y'all. I got it from Gene Lee, and it has wrecked my last year since I heard it. I heard it last November, I think. And Gene was talking about it, and Gene was like, everybody deserves to eat. And I was like, holy shit. And then even last night I was watching something, and it was on okay, so there's this person on TikTok that I don't follow, and I cannot remember the handle. But anyway, they were talking about how healthcare is a human right, and how leftists and liberals are talking about are sometimes saying that they believe it. And so they were like, what human right is something that, regardless of who you are born and entitled to it. It does not matter if you are a criminal. It does not matter if you are if you're a brown person. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's a human right. And so when people on the left and on the right say things like, this is a human right, XYZ is a human right, but it doesn't apply to criminals, doesn't apply to felons, doesn't apply, no. Then it's not a human right, right? Then we're dehumanizing someone in that conversation. So yes, everyone deserves to have a conversation. And Sahar, my apologies, I haven't listened to your voice memo from this morning. My bad. I haven't gotten there yet. It's been a day already. But yes, everyone deserves to eat. And that's a hard truth to sit with, right? That's a hard truth.
We have a desire to make people suffer for their mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got depressed and you fell out of work and you just could not get back into life with what we call here re-entry trouble. So you're having a re-entry trouble back into a new career, or you're even going back to a career you had, or you fell out of the seesaw and the circus of society. We want people who fall out of form or fall out of life to suffer. We want people who've harmed others to suffer. If we harmed someone, there's a certain level of pittance and punishment and serve time that we must do. And I'm trying to figure out how a punitive inner and a punitive outer allows us to heal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like wrestling with this, everybody deserves to eat thing. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was listening to the beginning of Pod Save the World, and they were talking about the 6 hostages that were horrifically murdered by Hamas, like horrifically murdered, like
I mean,
not
now
good
we're
shit.
here, trigger warning. I've not. I've been that
It's right.
story. I have seen it, but can you, without a trigger warning available,
Yes,
did they harm someone? Like, is this happened in the last week?
this is like recent, like killed very recently, bodies released. Hi, baby. I know it's very sad. Yeah, I'll change you in just a second. So it's a recent story. And the people on that podcast are not always perfect, as none of us are, when talking about this Israel's genocide of the Palestinian people, right? But what they said was the murder of a person does not justify the murder of another person. And I think about that, I've thought about it for a long time in terms of the death penalty, right? Like we, as a culture, justice is an eye for an eye, right? So if you murdered someone or if you murdered multiple people, then you should be on death row, right? You should be killed. And I think it's just it's a thought we have to really work to continuously deconstruct. We are so grateful that you are here. And if you are here watching somewhere else and you're like, I kind of want to say something, then say something. We're not watching the Instagram. I don't think we're on Instagram. Are we only on YouTube right now?
It's a YouTube and Facebook kind of party for
YouTube
us.
and Facebook exclusive. All right. So if you're out there, you have to say hello to us in order for us to know who you are and in order for us to answer your questions. But if there's something you want us to cover that happened this week or something that you're personally wrestling with, we would love for you to put that in the comments. And then next time we can also bring you up if you want to come hang with us for a little bit.
We've been
Um,
obsessed this week with big questions. So if you're out
mhm.
there and you have like a big question, like something, I think we're all, once again, 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts and emotions. We all are rolling some big question, big idea, big challenge, a challenging question in our head. Feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll just talk it through with you. We are not people who promise to have all the answers as we deconstruct once a week, but sometimes just having people that you can talk things through is so great. And we've learned tonight from the community participants tonight. We usually do it at night. Today, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Everyone deserves to eat. We're all naturally good regardless. There's love in this space. There are creatives and light workers and healers who want to have these conversations. Once again, thank you to Sahar Hassan and Tara and everybody else who's come through today. And there's no subject off limit. Reverse cowgirl. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
If that was a question. If that was your question, reverse cowgirl.
Girl.
I can't even say it. How is he going to recommend it if he can't say it? Trust me. I can recommend it.
I don't know, girl. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, girl.
Girl, baby,
Baby
girl.
girl.
Um, okay, you asked a question about gender. Do we want to go back to that?
Speaking of reverse cowgirl, yes.
Yes, reverse it. Flip it and reverse it. Okay. Uh,
Hey.
A, I think that we don't need the binary of gender. And these conversations, I listen, no group of people is a monolith. Okay. So you're going to hear different answers from the people most affected by this discussion. And you should honestly go talk to those people, or you could go talk to those people as opposed to a person who identifies as cisgender, a person who I have a lot of privilege in speaking on gender as a cisgender woman, but I also, I found this lately with my kiddo that at first when people would approach me and call my kiddo opposite of what their assigned at birth is, bye Sahar, we love you. I would kind of get uncomfy until I remembered to tell myself, like, hey, it's not actually a big deal. Like, who cares? does it mean anything to me that they've called my child this? Is my child going to remember that? Is my child, like, no. So now I just let people call my child whatever. And what I've noticed is, like, with this generation that is Gen Alpha, I teach a lot of them, and some of them come in and they go, oh, what can I call your kid? And I usually say Piper, or any pronoun that you want, like whatever. And they go, oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, like, it's not to say that gender isn't important. It's just to say that I think participating in the gender binary is by extension, yeah, right? Is by extension participating in white supremacy, right? And we know that in nature, many, many, many organisms do not, they do not follow the binary, right? They follow what makes them survive and thrive. So, like, when I go from that angle, I'm like, ooh, even nature is telling us that the binary doesn't need to be followed.
Do you think some of us are dinosaurs because we're still playing the binary gender game in the first place? Do you think that because I'm a product of the 80s and early 90s where it was just black or white, like, chocolate or vanilla, red or blue, like, do you think that like, speaking to what you just said about your kids, like, the kids don't care. It's dinosaurs like me in my 40s that is like, well, what is this all about? I think perhaps I'm stuck.
Well, I think that we're taught to care, but the reason we're taught to care is because in certain ways the binary allows for indoctrination. So if someone is a girl, they are taught different things than if they are a boy. And boys are taught to never cry. They're taught to express their feelings through violence. They're taught to be proud, right? And girls are taught to care for others. They are taught to cover themselves. They are taught
to deny themselves, to put the family unit in front.
Right. And so, like,
women are taught to do that whole raising voice on the phone thing that some of you
do. Yeah. And I think about it, even in my household, of like, oop, I'm doing the majority of the caring for the child. And how is the way that I'm existing in my household, like, strengthening that binary idea, right? And it's very hard to whoa, are you talking? It's very hard to break out of. Do you want me to change you?
Dr. Flo can take over for a little bit while we take care of that.
I mean, I don't think it's because you're a dinosaur. I think it's because we are raised in a binary society, like every single one of us. And despite the fact that these kids are, like, oh, whatever, that doesn't mean that they aren't also being impressed upon by the people at school and the people at their jobs. And that, like, all of it is, when I get the paperwork from Piper's pediatrician, pediatrics is what I was trying to pediatrician. Every other question, one will be like, does he? And the next one will be, does her? Instead of just saying, do they? Like, isn't that easier than genderizing your freaking paperwork and making everybody like they? Like, we're all a they, and that's
inclusive language.
That's not to diminish non-binary people. That's just to say that, like, isn't it more inclusive to use the most inclusive term? And so, yeah, I think that colonialism and supremacy and capitalism and these binaries that they have created and this society that they have created just really make us be in these binaries, and we don't even realize we're in them until we start to talk about it. And then it's like, well, what does being a girl mean? What does being a boy mean? What does being, like, how about what does being a human mean?
And how does be what is and how does the restrictions or the requirements around being a boy or a girl, how is that a prison that keeps us in chains when our hearts want us to do something that's not assigned at birth?
Right, right,
We
right.
also have to talk about like how people's roles in society are assigned at birth based around gender. Like,
Hmm.
we just think that certain roles are gendered in society, and so then like where are the female firefighters and the marines and
Right.
stuff like that, which they do exist, don't get me wrong, but why is that not a normalized thing? If a young person wants to do that regardless of their assigned at birth gender. Very interesting things.
Agreed. Okay. Do you have a topic that you want to talk about
Well,
while I'm
what I was going to say is thank you to everybody for stopping by Deconstruction Junction. I feel so full in my spiritual center and in my energetic center and my educational center because we actually have been asking the sky for a third or fourth or fifth participant in these programs, and we got it today. So special shout out to the loved and lovable Sahar Hassan, who stopped by, and we were concerned also about this time slot, but we had someone join. We had a few people join to partake in the magic. So, Tara, where can people find you, and what are you offering this week to the world? And then I'll talk about
Yeah.
who I am and what I'm offering, and we'll be out of here.
Yeah. So, first of all, happy episode 200. You guys can find me on the podcast, on the Love and Action podcast. Soon come on my own over on Drip Project on my Lift Every Voice Substack. Um, so that's one of my offerings, Lift Every Voice Substack. It is free, but you can also pay it forward. To break capitalism, we're going to have money. And that's just the truth of it. So if you're interested in participating in that, you can. You can also find me over on Telegram and Liberation Conversations, which I think is how Sahar got here, actually. That's a very open, there's a bunch of topics, but y'all, like, whatever you want to bring up, just come. And what I'm asking for, and what I have been asking for, and what I would wish for all of you is that when you see something, that you approach it as an honest, open, and willing participant. Same thing in Liberation Conversations. You're not going to agree with everything. You're not going to feel good about everything that I share. You're not going to feel good about everything that somebody else shares. But the point is that you're actually investigating it, and it might make you feel uncomfy, but we have to become uncomfortable enough to change the world. So you can find me at tarapriolo.com/links, tarapriolo.com/links, tarapriolo.com/links. All my linky poos are there, and you can join in wherever you think you'll fit in. And if you don't fit in there, there's probably another place for you. Where can we find you, Dr. Flo?
We have tons of places for people to fit online and in real life. I am Dr. Flo. Not telling you what I heard, what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life. I want y'all to have a wonderful day. You can find me online at Andre and the Flow, and also through our link in bio, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. We have tons of services to offer. Right now, I'm doing performance-based coaching, life coaching, clarity coaching, and also I am launching this year, y'all, my 7-day-a-week love revival in person and online. It's going to be amazing. We're looking for singers, dancers, agents, performers, and folks who just want to tap into a higher vibration. Like, I do not want to spend the next 40 years of my life in low vibes. I want to have high vibes, loved and lovable vibes, and you all are invited to participate. On behalf of all of us here at Love and Action Network, have a wonderful weekend. Stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and loved.